Years ago on Weekly 50, I shared one, maybe two photos using this technique here. This is I guess you'd call it a bokeh wall or a bokeh wall. It's actually pretty simple. It's just a piece of aluminum foil crumpled up and then unwrapped and kind of laid flat with something in the foreground for your subject to sit on. And behind me as I take this, there's a window. So there's a ton of light coming in and it's bouncing off the aluminum foil that's crumpled up. And it makes for this really cool background. And the whole scene here is just like, it's really small. And if you look at the blog, you'll see, well, if you're on YouTube watching this, you can click the link and go to the blog post. And if you're on the blog post, and you'll see already if you scroll down, a picture of what this setup looked like. And this loon here is really small. It's probably maybe 1.5 inches from the tip of the beak to the end of the tail. And I took this with my new macro lens. And I forget the f-stop. I think it was maybe f11 or f13. It was small, whatever it was. And I originally didn't plan on this type of photo here with this loon sitting in what's actually an overturned glass bowl. I actually wanted it to be on a flat glass surface, but I didn't have a flat glass surface. I was going to take apart a picture frame, but I couldn't find one to take apart. So I just used an overturned bowl, and it gets actually a really cool effect I didn't even intend on, which is it makes this loon look like it's sitting in a lake, making kind of some ripples around it. It's a really neat effect that I didn't plan on at all, but I love seeing it here. And taking this photo was, in some ways it was unexpected, but in a lot of ways it was another illustration of what it means to be able to shoot photos close up. I had to use a tripod. Well, I guess I didn't have to, but I wanted to use a tripod so I could use a small f-stop and let in a ton of light and get a really clean photo. I shot a manual mode at I forget what the exposure value was, but it's too long to handheld because I wanted a super low ISO for a really clean image. And taking this picture on my dining room table made me think of all the ways that I could use this type of photography for other pictures in the future. And I think that's one of my favorite parts about exploring this macro lens, is seeing the possibilities that it opens up beyond just taking a picture of something small, but creating a whole scene with that small object and using everything I know about photography of lighting and composition and aperture and f-stop and all that to create more interesting compositions than I've ever done before.